So this is a breakdown of a full market cycle of returns. And this is from the onset of CPUs and processors. And this is really relevant because right now we've had this historic rise in NVIDIA. I mean, it was like 25%, 24% in a day or something like that. And it really got me questioning, okay, why is it at a price to earnings of almost 200? Is this thing worth it? And how does this shake out? And this chart's really interesting because it shows you that when you have a new wave of innovation, and these are the stock market returns of these companies. And you can see that initially the value is captured by the chip manufacturers, the semiconductor manufacturers. Moving on, it moves more to the infrastructure and devices that start to capture the returns from the market. You start to see the semiconductors become commoditized, and then the value in the margins is in the devices. And finally, you see these software companies, the Google, Amazons of the world, who end up building these massive monopolies on top of this core infrastructure. And so I thought this was really interesting. It kind of shows you, NVIDIA probably has a good run of potentially trying to get a monopoly in this space. I mean, what they're doing right now is definitely setting them up to potentially do that. But when other companies see margin and opportunity, they look to jump in. So it's likely we're going to see a similar cycle play out with NVIDIA.
Yeah, so this is super interesting because the main difference I see from at least infrastructure and devices to software is the device is obviously limited to the number of people that have that individual device, where Google and Amazon can cross any piece of hardware. So
Hmm.
they're able to expand so much quicker
Hmm.
because 100% of the market can use their services, whereas Apple's still going to only be limited to the people that physically have their phones.
Hmm. And basically, for me, with my investment hypothesis, I'm very bullish on the big tech companies. That's where most of my portfolio is concentrated. I put Apple in that category as well. Apple's much different than Samsung. They're not just a device, they have a whole brand around it. I mean, they have the top brand in the world right now. And so, I'm very bullish on them, very bullish on Amazon, particularly at this price point, and Microsoft, I really like as well. With the basically 50% ownership of OpenAI, Microsoft is very well positioned to take advantage of this new AI race, and they've got the right team to do it. So, yeah, I thought this was an interesting insight to share. Um, just insightful to see. I'm not buying Nvidia at this level, but if I can see a pullback, I'd love to own it. I mean, I've been following Nvidia since around 2012, when they first, or 2016 rather, when they started having their GPUs to do the computer vision stuff and everything that was going on back then. But now with these LLMs, it seems much more practical